It's currently Saturday morning in the Western Pacific. Always important to note the date and time so you're not watching an old video here. But Typhoon Haishen here on Saturday morning, still a potent Category 4 storm system with winds about 135, gusting to 165 knots. This storm is no joke, but the good news is that I do believe the intensity is starting to level off here. If you take a look at satellite imagery, it almost looks like it's kind of getting punched in the face here from the west, and that is because we're starting to see a bit of shear in on this storm system thanks to an upper level trough coming in out of eastern China. I've actually been talking about this for a few days now, and every time somebody says, I think this is inching closer and closer to Okinawa, I think to myself, just look at the satellite. It is going to start to turn north, and that's exactly what we're starting to see now with this kind of getting smushed on us. This is going to push the worst of the weather to the eastern side of the storm as well. So even though it is going to pass just north of Okinawa, you really are not going to get the brunt of this system. It's the Amami Islands and Minami Daito. It's a little island right there just north of the center of circulation. The JMA, they're actually going to see winds upwards of 180 miles per hour. I mean, a decent storm surge there. I have moderate because it is kind of an elevated island. It's not really an atoll. It is a rocky outcrop more or less, and 9 to 11 inches of rainfall. I mean, this is not unusual. About 2,000 people do live on that island. They are used to these storms. The higher populations are further towards the north and west across Amami Oshima and across Okinawa. Northern Okinawa, though, you're going to be seeing this pass by just towards the north by your Sunday morning. 3 to 6 inches there, gust up to 90 miles per hour on the northern extent of the island. The key thing to note, I know 90% of you listen to these updates and you hear me when I say northern end of the island, but there is going to be a few people in Naha who are thinking, where is this storm? It's because we take a look at this hour by hour, the track here. We'll look at this passing just south of Minami Daito. Look, oh man, they are going to just get pummeled on that island. The good news, like I said, it's one of those islands built for this storm. But then it moves off towards the north, and then Amami Oshima, it's going to pass right overhead. This forecast has not changed from 24 hours ago. Videographer James Reynolds out here on the northern end of the island. This is passing during the day. Almost guarantee, if you follow him on Twitter, Earth Uncut TV, you're going to get a picture of that stadium effect, that classic inside the eye, looking at the eye wall type of imagery, because that is going to be seen out here on Oshima. But let's take a look at Okinawa. Let's back this up a frame or two, see how the max winds are towards the northern ends of the island. Yeah, it's going to be picking up out there, but further towards the south, not going to be terrible. Some of the outer rain bands could definitely bring some winds, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, stay inside. Don't be stupid. Don't be that guy checking out the waves and get swept out into the ocean, which unfortunately has happened in the past. Then as we take a look ahead, the storm does pass just south of Fukuoka, Kagoshima, kind of buzzing on by. Big issue here is going to be the rainfall, because that moisture will be wrapping around, hitting this volcanic soil out here. I mean, upwards of 200 to 300 millimeters in southern Kyushu, very well possible, before it moves off. And then eventually, same as, unfortunately, very similar to Meisak, pushes into the Busan area and just brings these destructive winds into that major metropolitan area, still cleaning up from Meisak after that caused pretty significant damage in South Korea. An hour by hour look, taking a look at the bigger picture here, you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about with the storm moving towards the north, passing by Kyushu, big rainmaker there, and also a big rainmaker across the entire Korean peninsula, but Busan's really going to get hit. All right, so I am 3 minutes 50 seconds in. I want to see how many of my Filipino friends are watching, because I have been asked in an insane amount of times today if the storm is going to hit the Philippines. On Facebook post I have posted about just showing this track right here, and I think what's happening is it's something I absolutely hate. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here for half a second. The Philippine area of responsibility is this thing Pagasa uses, and it looks just about like that. And they name storm systems when they go inside of it. This one's called Christian, and went inside the Philippine area of responsibility, and all the news sources picked up and said, a typhoon has entered the Philippine area of responsibility, and everybody panics, my goodness, without looking at the information. I absolutely hate this concept because it is going nowhere. I had to argue with some people saying, no, it is going nowhere near you. You are not going to get the outer rain bands. It's nowhere near you. The Philippines is over here. The storm is over here. It is moving towards the north. I almost guarantee on one of my platforms when I'm posting this video, somebody is going to ask, is this storm going to hit the Philippines? No, I love my friends in the Philippines. I don't think this is a fault of you. I believe it is a media thing and a government thing. When storms enter the Philippine area of responsibility, the headline is a storm has entered and everybody kind of gets misled. Don't like it at all. Anyways, one thing I do want to correct on myself yesterday too, I did note that this was the strongest typhoon of 2020. For sure is, but it's not the strongest tropical system. Actually, that was Cyclone Harold back in February or January, 145 knot sustained winds. That was a true Cat 5. It hit Vanuatu. Then you had Amphan that hit India, 140 knots at peak intensity, and then Haishen, 135. It did beat out Loris thus far, but like I said, this storm has leveled out in its intensity following that big area of rapid intensification about 24 hours ago. Since then, leveled out about 135 knots, and I do expect with that continued increase of vertical wind shear, continue to see that weakening here. But like I said, it's still a potent storm. I mean, let's just take a look at this. Passing over the Amami Islands, Amami Oshima, biggest population of the Amami Islands, by the way. Now, Okinawa does have a higher population, but here it kind of gives you another idea of where these winds will be coming from. Northern areas of Okinawa Honto definitely getting those 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Southern areas maybe less tropical storm strength. And then we take a look further towards the north. Let's watch this as it goes ahead. I want to kind of show this bigger image of these wind flow because you can see that moisture wrapping around, and that's going to be an issue across Shikoku and even over here towards parts of Kyushu, just as that rain continues to push on shore. Flooding is really going to be a major threat there. And then throughout the day on our Monday, it moves on shore over Busan and eventually off here towards the north. Places like Russia, Vladivostok, very well could get impacted by some typhoon strength winds here as well. I am curious, actually, they got impacted by Mochak. I didn't check the obs up there, but it's kind of interesting nonetheless. Anyways, guys, I hope you find this video useful. Always appreciate the feedback. That's definitely one of the big things I do like about posting online versus posting on TV. I mean, I was on NHK for a long time, NBC, and I do like this direct feedback and this conversation we can have. For example, I've seen a lot of people asking this question from the Philippines. I'm not upset about it. It's just, I know where the problem lies, and that is good to address, and I'm happy we can address it. Anyways, stay safe out there, guys. My friends in the Amami area, definitely hunker down. Across Sasebo, I have on here, Kagoshima, all of Kyushu for that matter, flood threat with this. Busan, I mean, I love Busan. I spent a lot of time there in my Navy days. I really hope that they're ready for this storm, because it's a little bit stronger than Mysak when that even came through. All right, guys.